A shift is on its way. It's coming. There's no doubt about it. In fact, in a lot of areas, it's already being felt. And that's what we're going to talk about right here, right now on the Mortgage Loan Officer Podcast. Hi, welcome to the Mortgage Loan Officer Podcast. I'm your host, Frank Garay, flying solo today. And that's by choice. I wanted to get something out. And also, don't let me forget, we're powered by and brought to you by the Mortgage Marketing Animals. But the title for today's podcast is "Don't Let a Great Market Ruin Your Business." And you might think that's kind of weird. How could a great market ruin my business? Well, there's a lot of ways, and let's get to that here. I want to bring up the fact that we know that interest rates play a role in the market with respect to affordability, right? Home prices and interest rates for mortgage people play a role in affordability for consumers. It just does. If you have escalating prices and escalating rates, things just become less affordable. That's just the way it is. If you have improving price or improving rates, things become more affordable. And we are in a situation right now where we've kind of moved into a less affordable zone to some degree for some people because the rate bumps in a year from October of 21 to October of 22, rates jumped from the 3s to 7, right? So kind of a pretty far swing in a pretty short amount of time. And of course, we all know that kind of stifled some of the flow, right? Some of the flow of mortgage money throughout the country. In turn, this also wreaked havoc on the originator community with respect to, people being able to stay within the business or having to leave the business. And that's a lot of that simply because the typical thing that does happen in a robust market did happen once again, which is originators became complacent and, kind of felt like it was never going to end. And it did end. And then even, very experienced originators were left, staring at themselves in the mirror with their jaw hanging open, like, what happened? And I just want to let you guys know that this is a little different podcast, but bear with me on this. And I am going to date this one because the date is relevant here. Normally we try not to date podcasts, so we don't, because they're useful in any market, any time. For the most part, our podcasts are at the Loan Officer Podcast Network with the Marketing Animals. However, this one I'm going to date because I think it's important to make note of when I'm recording this. So today is February 20th, and I think this is going to be released this week. But I want everyone to have a very clear understanding that there is a shift coming. In fact, it's already starting. You're probably going to see this market improve for the better for you as an originator. A lot of the big gurus out there who know what they're talking about, who are smarter than me, for sure, probably smarter than you, depending on who you are listening. But the prognostication is that we'll probably see rates, get into the 5s, maybe even to the 4s by the beginning of 2024. And there's going to be this gradual improvement over time with respect to rates. It's of course based on inflation and things. You never know what's going to happen, but the feeling is that rates are probably going to improve, which is going to make affordability come around again. Yeah, so we're probably going to see a shift in the market. Now, the thing that's also staring us in the face, though, just understand, this comes from an interview I heard from the National Real Estate Post with David Stevens, who is the ex-FHA commissioner, the ex-president of the Mortgage Bankers Association, and is now a consultant with many on Capitol Hill regarding housing and mortgage. A very, very, very bright individual. Great friend of mine, too. He's a super good dude. But he's saying, hey, look, this is more than likely what he sees happening, which is rates improve. As soon as inflation is curbed, Powell eases up. You'll see rates go into the mid-5s, something like that. And that's going to spawn affordability. And buyers, in his opinion, are going to, start to really jump out again. And the problem you have is you've got low inventory still, very low inventory, and the 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 age demographic in the United States from like 25 to 39, which is very much so in that first-time home buyer demographic, is the largest segment of the US population right now. There's more people in that age demographic than the country has ever seen in the history of the country. So literally many, many millions of people who are in the right age demographic to try to take advantage of affordable rates with no inventory or very little inventory. So, do the math on all that, and you're going to see a pretty robust, pretty hot purchase market. In other words, i.e., a shift. And so what I wanted to get, the point I want to get across today is, and I don't want to come across as if I'm, the smartest guy in the room. I'm certainly not, or anything like that. I would like you guys to think of this from your perspective, right? And based on your experience. And maybe right now I'm talking to the originators that have experience, who've been in the business 20 years, 25 years, 30 years. And for those of you who are younger, please listen, because the views I'm going to share are probably viewed by this more mature, seasoned loan officer demographic. Is that if you really think to yourselves, if you are in that demographic, you've been in this business for 20 plus years, you know how this goes. We're all guilty of it. And that is that we all kind of, not all, I shouldn't say that. A lot of us will tend to get a little lazy in a hot market, right? And what I mean by that is not lazy in doing the work, right? We're going to close loans. We're going to close a bunch of loans because the market's good and the market's hot. So we're going to work hard at that. But where we get lazy is in making sure that our business is running properly, right? And I am so guilty. I've been guilty of it many times. I know a lot of us have. It's not something that's intentional by us, but it's something that I think is just not prepared for, right? Like the recent rise in rates, I think everybody knew that was going to happen at some point in time, but I think it's just not well prepared for. But if we were well prepared, probably wouldn't have impacted us as much for some of us. So I wanted to get this podcast going on February 20th, 2023, just to ring the alarm, sound the bell, hear the air raid sirens going off, and really just say, come on, man, this time, let's not mess this up. All right. There's going to be a shift, and it's already here, and business is going to get better, and even refis. I mean, you're going to start seeing a bunch of refis again. Guys, gals, LOs, both seasoned and new, don't let a shift in the market for the better ruin your business. So what do I mean by that? This is what I mean. When we have a positive swing in the business, we tend to drop activities, drop strategies that we worked hard on when there wasn't a good amount of business, right? And that's where we are right now. Right now, we have a lot of originators have decided, okay, I can't get out of this business. I need to stay in this business, which means I need to work it properly. So we have a lot of originators that have stepped up and decided, okay, I need to get back to work. Even though I've been doing this for 25 years and I feel like a seasoned pro, I feel like I'm starting all over again, and I need to step up and do the right things. This, of course, would be the daily success plan that we coach on every day at Mortgage Marketing Animals and Loan Officer Breakfast Club. And so we're seeing a lot of originators do that, step up and find the plan, follow the plan, and get the result. Even in this market, getting the result, right? Getting business in the door. But I'm telling everyone, again, alarms blaring, lights flashing, air sirens going off. Don't mess this up this time. Don't do it. Don't let a shift in the market for the better ruin what you've worked on now for several months. right? Maybe a year. The things that you've put in place that are working, that are getting relationships built, that's bringing business into the door. Don't screw this up this time. Let's be wise this time and let's do it the right way. See, this is what happens when a great market comes along. When a great market comes along, not all of us, but many of us will stop our prospecting, right? Don't need to do it so much anymore. Deals are coming in the door. All the work I did must have paid off, and now all the business is just coming in the door. No, this is the market working in your favor. Okay. That can get turned off in a second. We've already just come through that. So what winds up happening in a great market is originators tend to stop it. They tend to lay off it. Bad idea. Don't do it. Please don't do it. Another thing that happens is we tend to start overspending, right? I need to beef something up, or, I think I can add that thing that I wanted to add. Think about it really, put a lot of thought into your spending as this market shifts and things start to get a little bit better. Don't be so quick to pick up expenditures. Don't. Work with what you've got. Even in a little hotter market, try to keep the expenses down, right? Work with what you've got. See if you can make use of what you've got. Better make use of what you've got at your fingertips already, rather than just all of a sudden spending more. And this could be on assistance, this could be on products, this could be on whatever. It doesn't matter. Just spending goes up. And sometimes without enough thought, right? Another thing that happens when a market gets great to originators is we lose attention to detail. Things can slip through the cracks a little bit more often. Part of that is just that we've got a little bit of an increase in volume, and that can cause that to happen. If we don't have a tight process, right, that can get exposed in a good market. We can expose our process and understand, we got a hole in the boat. We got to fix that. But it can also, losing attention to detail can also just become, oh, well, I lost something happened. Doesn't matter. There's one around the corner anyway. There's another, I just took another app last night. It doesn't matter. We can't have that attitude. We can't lose attention to detail. The other thing that happens too, which is probably the worst thing that happens in a great market with originators, is they lose their relationships with their realtor partners that they work so hard to get. They don't pay attention to them anymore. If they were calling them once a week, twice a week, now it's every couple of weeks, maybe every 3, maybe once a month, maybe not at all. Right? That's what happens. We can't let that happen. Another thing is poor hiring. When we do feel like we have to bring on a team member, we tend to do it in such a way that we haven't really thoughtfully planned out what that team member's actual job role is, and if we even really need that team member. Again, this kind of plays into spending, right? Spending money. If we're going to hire, boy, please make sure that you really, truly do need that person, not just, I've got some extra revenue, and I feel like I should probably get someone, and you get someone and they don't really contribute to the bottom line or really contribute to the process, right? But you've got them anyway, and now you're spending this money and it just wasn't a good hire. This happens, okay? And one of the worst things that can happen in a great market is a drop in your service levels. A drop in your service levels to your realtor partners, a drop in your service level to your consumers, right? Your customers. All these things can happen. A great market can cause all of these 6 things that I just said to occur. And I know as professionals, we don't intend for that to happen. But here's what I'm crying for you to do right now, and understand there is a shift happening right now, right? It's happening right now. Please be very intentional right now of being cognizant of this shift that is happening right now. And please be very intentional right now about not letting any of these 6 things happen. In fact, right now, with a shift looming in the very near future, and again, I'm going to bring up a couple points here. It's already happening. I'm telling you, it's already happening. Let's pick up our prospecting. Let's knuckle down and prospect harder. Find a way to do that. Okay. Let's take a look at what we're spending money on and make sure it's spent wisely. We have to spend money. Don't get me wrong. We need to spend money. We need to spend money on, well, perfect example, Freedom Club, mortgage marketing animals. This is money well spent, especially if we apply ourselves to the program, right? There's other things we have to spend money on, our CRMs, our, or whatever that might be. So there's things that we have in place. Yeah. We have to spend that money, right? But let's not, if we start feeling a little bit of a lift, let's not just start throwing other things on top of that pile without really thinking it through. That's all I'm saying. Just think it through. And I'm not saying don't do it. Probably there's some stuff that we, should get right now that we haven't done because we know we've been tighter, but now maybe there are some things that we can bring up into the spending pile, but just be thoughtful of it. That's what I'm saying. Be thoughtful. As we see things come along, be thoughtful. Look at things that can help add to the bottom line, right? Loss of attention to detail. Let's get more detailed. We have to really now focus on our process. We're big proponents of process and something we call SWET, same way every time, SWET. And that does require a process. Okay. It requires attention to detail, fine detail, so that you can scale. So in reality, we need to focus more on the detail right now. Very much so. We really need to bear down on our process and make sure we have a smooth way to bring a transaction into the pipeline and get it through the pipeline and get it out the other end where everybody's happy. And number 6, we keep our service levels very high. Now's the time to excel at your service levels if we really want to make it. I hope I'm making sense here, right? And right now we have to really focus on our realtor relationships harder, even going into a good market, which when I say good market, I mean purchase. There's going to be a bunch of refis coming our way again. We have to stay focused on those relationships. Those relationships are truly what sustain us. They really are. And there's you can go a couple different ways on that, but at the end of the day, there is a ton of money in realtor relationships, an absolute ton. It would be absolutely irresponsible of us not to take care of that and attend to that and do whatever we can do to retain relationships, not lose them in a shifting market for the better, right? And just make sure when we hire people, we're doing it wisely. If it is time to hire, make sure it's the right hire. Make sure that person is the right person. Make sure that you have that job description clearly laid out. If you're going to hire a full-time employee, let's make sure they're working full-time, right? And in their working full-time, it's bringing benefit to the process, or it's bringing benefit to the bottom line. Okay. We don't want to bring someone on that we thought was a full-time gig only to realize, wow, this is getting accomplished in 4 hours a week. Why do I need a full-time employee to do this? And then we start trying to find other things for that employee to do, right? So be thoughtful of that. So I'm just saying there is a shift in the market. It's coming right now. I'm helping my daughter build a mortgage brand, a mortgage team, and I'm intricately involved in it because I want to make sure it gets off to a good start, and I want to do things the right way. In this time around, it's going to get done the right way, and it is getting done the right way. And we are bearing down on all these 6 items hard, even though we're seeing the shift. And with respect to seeing the shift, just got an email from one of the agents that they've developed a relationship with by working the Daily Success Plan, who's sending them business right now. And that agent is saying, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. In this email, it said, I need a video that says, if you're going to buy now. If you're going to look at homes, write an offer immediately, because she said, I'm losing them. These houses are flying off the market again. again. One day gone, one day gone, multiple offers. It's happening again. Now, this might just be our area, but I don't think so. I think this is going to be prevalent through through many areas, right? Probably the whole country, especially if rates start to get, start dipping into the fives on a consistent basis. According to David Stevens, he feels like they're going to start to come out of the woodwork. Buyers are going to come out. And the problem is there's not a lot of inventory. So it's going to be bidding wars all over again. The good news for you guys is that contracts are going to get accepted. The more pre-approvals you have, the better. We're going to get back to that. Remember, in the past market, it was whoever had the most pre-approvals wins, because one of them's going to get accepted, right? So we need a lot of pre-approvals. We really need a bunch right now, and we need to stay in touch with them. We need to follow the daily success plan. We need to stick strictly to our process and what we do if we're going to win in this shifting market. Listen, guys, we're going to start rolling out something on Loan Officer Breakfast Club, and we're going to call it Frank's 4. And because there's really, I had a chat with Carl White and Steve Kiles about this, saying, man, we need to prepare. Like, I don't want any of our originators to get, caught unprepared again. And I want to start talking about being prepared for the shift, because I believe it's imminent. It's right around the corner. So we don't mess this up. And Carl brought up, he says, man, there's really only 4 parts to any business. There's 4 parts. Market. This is who you're talking to. Who is your market? Who are you talking to? For us, real estate agents, consumers, right? That's number 1. Number 2 is marketing. How do you talk to them? How do you engage with them? How do you find them? How do you meet them? Right? The third thing is team. Who's on your team? What are your processes? What is your support? Right? What's your flow? This is all completely accurate, isn't it? And then finally, money. Where are we spending our money? How much money are we making? Are we saving? And where are we spending it? Right? It's Frank's 4. These are the 4 things that we have to be thoughtful of all the time, but especially if we're moving into a shifting market, which we are. I mean, I think so. Maybe I'm wrong. You can let me know. You can engage with me. Maybe in your market, not so much. I'm in Vacaville, California, which is literally translated Cowtown, California. We have 100,000 people in the city. It's not that big. So we're kind of a smaller, kind of I would kind of say sort of agriculturally based, not so much, but around us is a lot of agriculture. We have some industry, we've got the Kaiser Genentech and Anheuser-Busch, and, we got some things like that are nearby. But for the most part, there's a lot of agriculture around us. So we're kind of a podunk town. We are in California, but we're a podunk town out here. And we're seeing buyers come out, buyers looking to buy, and not being able to get a property because it's getting competitive all over again. So there is this shift. He who has the most pre-approvals wins going forward. I'm telling you, man. And I think, the coming out of this shift in the market where rates shot up, it did thin the herd. I did a podcast with Kevin Broughton from Success Mortgage Partners where he was pointing out, I think it was like last month. Was it last month or maybe it was last quarter? I think like, what was it, 6% or 16%? I can't remember. You have to listen to the podcast. Bottom line is a bunch of originators are not renewing their licenses. So we're having a thinning of the herd. We've already experienced quite a thinning. I know David Stevens was projecting about 30%, somewhere along those lines of originators would drop off. And I've been saying that too for leading up to the interest rate shift. I've been saying it when I was with the National Real Estate Post. I was saying there's going to be a 30% drop in originators. It's probably true. I don't know. You could tell me. You're probably smarter than me at this, but point being is less originators, more buyers, not a lot of inventory, rates getting more affordable. This is going to lead to a hot market. We're going to have a going into the summer and the fall and into next year, I mean, I think maybe I'm completely wrong, but I think there's going to be a hot market. And the reason I'm saying that is just based on, like I said, a bunch of really smart people and what they have to say, and the experience of what I'm seeing right now in an actual market. The media says one thing, but reality can be completely different, right? There's a media hubbub, hoopla, but in reality, things can be very, very different. And from what I'm seeing on the reality side of the pendulum, right, it's changing. Things have happened. Properties aren't lingering; they're getting gobbled up, and people are paying 6% and 6.5% or whatever the rates are, and competing for properties. So it's here. I'll get out of here today. Please, I'm begging you, do not let a great market, if it shows up here in the near future, do not let it ruin your business. Because I got to tell you, even if we do get a great market and it picks up and things are wonderful, I don't think it'll be long. I think it'll be kind of short-lived, right? So you just got to make sure we have to keep the prospecting up. We have to keep our spending in control, right? Be thoughtful, keep attention to detail, keep our processes tight, keep our relationships with our realtor partners. Make sure if we hire, we do it wisely, right? And keep our service levels very, very high. Don't let a little bit of relief on finding a deal ruin what you've built so far. Don't let it ruin that. So stick with us. Stick with us at Loan Officer Breakfast Club, Mortgage Marketing Animals Freedom Club, because we can navigate together through this in a proper way. So that if there's another shift after this shift, we're not standing around staring at each other with our mouths hanging open again, right? No, we just go right through it because we're doing the right things at the right time, regardless of the market, quote unquote, the market, whatever it might be, doesn't matter, because we are so entrenched in our process and in our plan, doing the right things, focusing on our process and our progress, right? To make sure that the results are always there, regardless of the environment that we're in. So don't let a great market ruin your business, and stay tuned to the Loan Officer Breakfast Club for Frank's 4 that we're going to be talking about regularly going forward, just to make sure we're all, in tune and thinking about these things so that we don't have a screw up again, right? So we don't have another, what the heck just happened moment. We don't want this anymore, right? We want to be able to be level through any market, any circumstance, whatever the situation is. So there you go. Do not let a great market ruin your business. That would be a complete debacle. Let's not let that happen. I'm going to get out of here. You guys have a fabulous, fabulous week. We'll be here again with you next week. Have a guest next week that's really interesting. I can't wait for you to hear him. He did a journey that was, I don't know. I won't say anything else, but it's really, really cool what you're going to hear next week. But so with that, I'll get out of here. Join us if you have not joined us yet at Loan Officer Breakfast Club. Please join us at Loan Officer Breakfast Club. It's at Loan Officer Breakfast Club. It's 30 minutes a day, 8:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. Eastern time. It's a live Zoom call. It's absolutely free. We get together with hundreds and hundreds of originators, and daily we go through what's going on today. What do we do today to move the needle forward, to make sure that our systems are in place, our processes are in place? What are our processes? How do we engage with our realtor partners, our consumers, that type of thing, to make sure we're always increasing our business? It's just great stuff. LoanOfficerBreakfastClub.com. That's where you want to go. LoanOfficerBreakfastClub.com. And if you do want to get tuned in to what the plan is, a plan that actually does work regardless of the market. It works all the time. It's not fluff. It's not, a bunch of, frilly things or nothing like that. Not a lot of shiny objects, just a solid, excellent plan that works no matter what. Have a call with us. You just go to dailysuccessplan.com. It's all free. Dailysuccessplan.com. We'll get you on the phone, go through your business with you, show you the plan. And if you want to continue with us, you can. If not, no big deal. Just join us at Loan Officer Breakfast Club. Free, 30 minutes, Monday through Thursday, 8:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. Eastern. Engage, talk to us, raise your hand, put questions in the chat, share your wins, share your challenges. There's not a better resource out there for the mortgage originator than Loan Officer Breakfast Club today. With that, I'll get out of here. You guys have a great one. We'll catch you next week right here on the Mortgage Loan Officer Podcast, brought to you by the Mortgage Marketing Animals. We'll see you. Bye-bye.